Are they in full tank mode? I mean, I don't know if we know that yet. I thought a lot of Stevens' commentary the other day would lead me to believe they're not. That he talked about maintaining maximum flexibility, and it's not just financial flexibility. He made clear, and maybe I missed this in his first press conference a couple weeks ago, the flexibility to make moves or get out of contracts by maintaining your draft picks. And part of his answers there the other day were about maintaining maximum flexibility. And he kept saying we have all of our draft picks except for the 29 first, or we have a bunch of seconds. And I don't remember exactly what their draft pick thing is, but he said they have most of their draft picks. And so I was led to believe on that for them to trim further salary, they'd have to attach their draft picks to it to get rid of those contracts. They're not willing to do it. Good. That felt like his tone. And if that's what they're going to do, good. They're allowed to get out of the apron. Fine. Even though I think those penalties are overblown. I accept it. But to be out of the tax and to, go balls to the wall to get out of the tax for 2 straight years just to save the owner money, no one should be in favor of. No one should be in favor of that.
No, everyone should hate that, too, especially with it being a new owner who came in and was talking about, he still wants to win championships and doing everything you would expect. But if you're going to say those kind of things, you should back it up a little bit. You shouldn't be trying to strip this thing to the bones.
So, so that, led you to believe they're going to see what Anthony Simons looks like, and they're going to go forward with this group. And then I listened to Brian Windhorst and the Hoop Collective on their podcast about the Celtics and their rebuild. And I hear this, Jimmy. Can you pop that in?
They have to rework the roster. I mean, look, they moved on for Kristaps Porzingis for George Niang, essentially. They moved on for Juhadi for Anthony Simons, who I think is a stopgap option. And I could see them potentially move on for him if they could save some more money on his expiring deal.
I mean, I have talked to other teams who have said the Celtics are actively trying to trade Anthony Simons. Like, whether they can or not is either. It would behoove the Celtics for a variety of reasons to get out of the luxury tax this season, to reset their repeater mover. If it's going to be a gap year, make it a gap year. So this is what I'm saying. People may say, well, why would the Celtics try to retrade Anthony Simons? The guy is an electric scorer. They need something like that. The answer is not because they don't like him. The answer is because they're trying to make it a true gap year. Get out of the tax, reset the repeater, reset the luxury tax, put themselves in a position to truly
Dallas Mavericks and jump up in the lottery and get Aaron Peterson or Nate Amen or AJ DeBansa or Cameron Boozer or whoever in next year.
Although it's a hell of a lot easier to land in the lottery in the West than it is the East.
Okay, so a couple different points there. They're actively trying to trade Anthony Simons. So if that's true, they just haven't gotten their price yet. Maybe they're trying to make the trade without having to give up a draft pick. So they are still dismantling. It's not just the apron, it's the tax. And Simons is their path to getting out of the tax. To which leads Windhorst to say, if you're going to make it a gap year, really make it a gap year. And then Bontemps comes over the top and starts dorking out on all the potential lottery picks next year that go in one year and out the other immediately. But that's what that whole conversation was. Again, the tone from Stevens the other day gave me hope that they're not going to go into full tank mode. But I still think that has yet to be played out. And when you mentioned, it's Bruce Beal, right?
Yeah.
I'll just give you like fancy brown checkmark, ascot flavored gossip. I may have been around someone who is who may know Beal or whatever, fancy boy, who is friendly with Beal. And not that Beal told him this or whatever, but the guy said to me, yeah, they're in full tank mode.
Oof.
Yeah, they're in tank mode. Now, I don't know. He could have said that meaning like, trading Holiday and Porzingis. Is that the tank? Like that could mean...
It could be perceived that way.
Some people could look at that and say the Celtics tanked by trading those two guys.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's what he meant. The guy wasn't a huge sports guy. He doesn't know the inner workings of aprons and all of that. He's just a fancy boy who knows Bruce Beal. He said, yeah, full tank mode. Yeah, they're in full tank mode, right? And I'm just going to relay that. So if they do if they do strip the thing, then, maybe that was onto something. What can I tell you? But when, Windhorst says if you're going to make it a gap year, make it a gap year. And they're still trying to actively trade Anthony Simons. So that means you're trying to get under the tax. To get out of those repeater taxes takes 2 years. It's not just this year. It's a whole
26,
nother year.
Yeah.
26, the 26-27 season. Or 2 out of the next 3, I think is what it really is. So you can be out of the tax this year, go into it next year, but the third year, then you have to go back out of it to get out of those repeater penalties. So 2 out of the next 3 years, they got to be out of the tax. To do that, that's kind of tanking. That would be, to do that in Tatum and Brown's prime years.
Well, as I said the other day, too.
That would be gross.
If you're Jaylen Brown, how do you feel about this? I would feel like this is an indictment about how this organization ultimately feels about me as a number 2 or like 1B to this whole thing, which, again, I think that he is. I think he's proven himself to be that. Hell, he's been, finals MVP and, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Like, he is a big part of what they do here. And it's a guy that they've tried to trade before. That's been in Durant trade rumors. And now you're going to tank because, like, you don't trust him enough to be able to carry this team to go on, like, a little bit of a fun little run in the postseason while Jason Tatum might be out for a year and is going to be out for a year. Like, that would feel like a middle finger to me. Again, the East stinks. It's pretty much wide open.
Absolutely. Middle finger to Brown, Tatum. Middle finger to, like, I don't know, it'd just be a loser move.
Yeah.
And I say this again as someone who really likes to poke the Celtics and green teamers. The Celtics are a legit well-run organization. If they do that, that's beneath them. That's beneath the Celtics. That's not what they should be doing. They are better than that. Now, but if these are, the equivalent of corporate raiders, if these are the new owners are just private equity guys who strip it down and flip it, then that's what they would do. But to me, we've been at this all week. They're allowed to get out of the apron. I'll give them that. But if they are hell-bent on getting out of the tax in 2 out of the next 3 years and really not maximizing the window of Tatum and Brown, shame on them. That would be a horrible result. One last thing. So how do they get out of the luxury tax? Could Marcus Smart be one of the ways? Marcus Smart.
He's not coming back here.
I'm reading from NBC Sports Boston. Should I not even waste my time, Stu?
I'm of the belief that Marcus Smart will not be a member of the Boston Celtics next year or in the future.
I'm not even going to read the story then. Tell me why.
Because I was told by somebody close to the situation that Marcus doesn't want to come back here.
Oh,
he doesn't want to come back.
He doesn't want to come back.
Yeah.
But they take him.
That I can't speak to. I can only tell you what somebody in the Marcus Smart camp told me.
So Smart is on an expiring contract. He makes $31 million, or is it $21 million, and Simons makes $26. And I think that gap, so that's pretty close. You can now make those trades where you don't have to go dollar for dollar. Simons makes $27.7. Smart makes $21.6. And that gap gets you out of the apron and closer to getting out of the tax. And they're both on Smart's on an expiring contract, so that financially is better for you, which is one of the reasons it's being discussed. But Smart doesn't want to do it.
That's what I believe.
And so what? Does he not want to do it because he's butthurt because he got traded and wasn't part of them actually winning a championship? I bet it's that.
I can't speak to that. I can only tell you that I don't believe Marcus Smart would welcome a return to Boston.
I was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I was as important as those other two.
Which is a shame because Encore needs the money. So
is Smart about to be on his 4th team since the Celtics trade? So it was Memphis,
Washington.
Now it's Washington. Was there a stop in between that I've missed?
No, I don't think so. No, it's just those two. Right?
Because the story at NBC Sports Boston says Marcus Smart is on his 3rd team in 3 years since the Celtics traded him in June of 2023. And he could be on the move again. The Bullets, which we like to call the Wizards, went out and signed C.J. McCollum, Cam Whitmore, Macaulay Branham, I don't even know what that is, and Blake Wesley in a pair of trades. They have the Wizards currently have 17 players under contract for next season. The roster limits 15. Smart is a prime candidate for the Wizards to move. So this is really meant for, frankly, not the dopes, the complete shills that cover the Celtics, who shamed you out there if you doubted Marcus Smart's value to the Celtics or Marcus Smart's value as an NBA player, like you didn't know the game. And it was all about Marcus Smart. And if they lose Marcus Smart, they lose their toughness. If they lose Marcus Smart, they lose their intangible. If they lose Marcus Smart, they lose the winning plays. And if you were in that camp that looked at Marcus Smart and said overrated, you didn't know the sport. How many Celtics media did that thing?
No,
Like,
I think all of them.
3/4 of them, anyway.
Pretty much.
At least 75%. Like, Grandy and Max were the worst. Really kind of embarrassing.
I wouldn't give up Marcus Smart.
I would not put Mike Gorman on the list. First-class individual. So's Matt. You know, I love Grandy and Max. But listen, like the way
I would give up picks.
This isn't Mike Gorman. The way Grandy and Max, leading the way, dished it out on Marcus Smart. And you know what Marcus Smart is? He's just a journeyman piece. He's just a journeyman now. Is this the third team in 3 years? Did we miss a team?
No, we didn't. And I think that might have been a typo because it's been the Celtics, Memphis, and Washington.
Well, I guess they're including the Celtics.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you include the Celtics here, this is going to be Smart's fourth team in 4 years. Celtics, Memphis, Washington, Team X. Okay? This is just a guy. Never as good as you thought he was. Never as integral to winning as you said he was. That's not even an opinion anymore. The league has told you that. It's obvious what he was. It's obvious what he is. And those of us who are on that side of it, we're right. Because we just looked at it objectively and looked at what he did and what kind of player he was and his true impact. And we're right. And all that water carrying for Marcus Smart, it's embarrassing. I mean, it really is. To carry on like that for a player. And now we know exactly what he is.
Just a guy.
Oh, my God. Just another journeyman guy. Just a guy. A jag. I love the final analysis sometimes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Now, that was a big win for people with eyes.